It's no city for women, scream the headlines. So what should young women do? Strong, independent and individualistic, and on the cusp of what promises to be a brilliant career. Should they circumscribe their lives and give in, or fight the odds, probably choose their battles and adopt survival strategies? 6 single working women share glimpses of what it means to be out after dark.
27-year-old woman was raped by her taxi driver.
Yet another horrifying story that reinforces the image of the national capital as a city that's unsafe for women.
That's what's the most scary for all of us and all girls and women in Delhi, and because we do everything we can to make sure that we avoid being in vulnerable situations. But when we hear stuff like this, it just cuts at that, and that's what's terrifying. And what angered most of us was the fact that if you compare autos and cabs are generally considered the safer alternative.
Every time we hear about a rape case in the news, it sort of instills a new fear in you. For example, after December, the rape case, Nirbhaya rape case, I decided not to take a bus. And after the Uber rape case, every time I sit in a cab, I feel scared. I was taking a cab today and I sort of wanted to doze off because I was really sleepy, and suddenly the whole news flashed in my head and I was like, no, I can't sleep off.
I'm a lot more cautious. I do take cabs at night, like reasonably late as well, and I'm not going to stop because I don't feel the need to be restricted by something like this. I mean, I'm as careful as I can be, but I don't want to change my lifestyle too much. Post this incident, it's not the first, it's not going to be the last.
What about your parents' concerns?
They are definitely not okay with it. I think just 2 days after it happened, I was coming back from the airport and my mom was like, you can't come back in a cab. But I mean, you can't expect them to be any other way. I would be concerned if I was a parent. I still can't really change my habits all that much.
To be quite honest, people coming from Northeast compared to what they have faced in Delhi, things that I've gone through in Delhi, it's comparatively very little. But like people shouting on the road while I'm going somewhere, or calling me Chinky or calling me Momos. So apart from those things, thank God I've not faced anything that's bigger than that. But yes, it really bothers me. I guess it takes a lot to get used to it as a girl, and I think I'm still getting used to it till now, in I think almost 10 years in Delhi. I live with my sister and my brother, younger ones.
Do you feel more vulnerable?
Yes, actually, I do. Because while going back from work, sometimes it's 7:30, sometimes it's 8. And during events, since I'm in PR, there are events that ends at around 10:30, 11. And that times you have to take a cab alone. More than me, it's really my parents who are really worried for me. Sometimes the phone gets switched off and they keep on thinking, where's my daughter, what's happening to her, has she reached home safe?
So is this your first job?
Yeah, it is.
Where do your parents live?
They stay in Muscat.
You have relatives here?
Yeah, I stay with my grandparents in Gurgaon.
So your parents are not too worried?
They are scared, of course, but they know that I'm taking my precautions, and I would be safer if I'm staying with my grandparents and not by myself. So they're a little relaxed about it, but not really. They keep calling me as well all the time when I'm out late, checking if I'm home or not.
So they know exactly when you're late?
Of course, I do tell them.
I live with my family, and it becomes my responsibility also to keep informing them where I am. But there are a lot of times when I just generally want to go out. And even that becomes a factor of worry, if I have how many friends I'm with, if I'm alone, or if, there are tons of things.
This is a ridge which is a forest land, and it's got a forest stretch on both sides. There are police posts here, but they are mostly, I see them post 11 o'clock, not between 8 to 10 when I'm coming back from home. And a lot of times when I'm on my phone, I lose network on this stretch. Right. So if my car was to break down here without any network, without having help, I would feel really scared.
Have you ever felt a little vulnerable or a little scared in a cab or in an auto?
I have in a cab, and it was in Delhi, but it was a private company, and I took it, and it was about 11, not too late at night, and he was staring at me in the rearview mirror, and repeatedly. It was deliberate, and I knew, and immediately what I did was what most of us do is, get on the phone, talk to an imaginary friend or a real friend, and just sort of do not engage with him at all and stay alert. Ironically, it was because of an auto driver in Bangalore that I escaped the most vulnerable situation I've ever been in personally. At 10 p.m. on Brigade Road, I was with a friend, and we just saw this man coming towards us, definitely with the intention to either attack us. An auto driver just happened to pass by. We stopped him. He told us that, get in quickly and let's move. And that's how we got away from it. There was this one time when there was a roadblock, and the cab driver insisted, even when I insisted that I want to get off there, it's only a 2-minute walk home, no worries. He insisted on going all the way around and bringing me back to my house. And he really didn't have any reason to do that. It was a prepaid taxi as well, so there was no monetary incentive for him to do that either.
After this incident, carrying pepper spray or some sort of a blade, which I'd considered it multiple times before, but this really felt a lot closer to home.
Do you feel burdened by the fact that you have to also think about a pepper spray?
I feel burdened by the fact that I have to think about any of this. That, I have to think twice before I go out at night, where I'm going, what time I have to be home, and whether or not it's a good idea. And it's been a burden that I think we're born with. So maybe we're a little used to it, but that doesn't mean it's okay.
I've had good conversations with the drivers, let it be an auto or the cab drivers. At the same time, I am very cautious of not revealing information about where do I stay, who do I stay with, where do I work.
If I'm out late in the night, I would not travel alone back home. I would have someone, a friend at least, to go back home with. And also the pepper spray. It has to be there with me at all times, because you never know what goes wrong. It can even happen in broad daylight.
One of my friends actually gave me a pepper spray to carry it along, but I haven't really made I would say because it's very expensive. At least if I can afford it, but everybody cannot afford it.
If it is an official thing, I try and keep it for an afternoon. If it has to be at night, I will ensure that the office arranges for a cab. With going out with friends, I try and always arrange either a stay at a friend's house or ensure somebody's dropping me back, and if neither one can be ensured, I don't go out.
Do you believe that we need to have a very strong self-preservation instinct, like a survival strategy?
Absolutely, absolutely. And even, like I say, if you don't have it, invent it. At least look like it. And it's a little social experiment that I've tried doing even when I'm walking alone. Just walk with purpose. Look like you're not somebody to be messed with. Even if you're walking somewhere, take your pet if you have to. That helps. I wouldn't obviously go to the extent of saying that women should stay home after a certain time or wear clothes of a certain length or anything like that. But yes, survival strategies, definitely. And we all, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. We all have survival strategies that we'll use every single day. Often my dad's advice is exactly what I would do. Even though it is up to the state to make it a safe, just do whatever it takes to make it a safer place for women. But while they do that, we will continue to do what we have been doing for a really long time to ensure that us, at least, that we can safeguard ourselves.
You have to continue living your life, but I think living in Delhi, a place where things happen, when things happen without any control, you can be cautious to a certain extent. You can very well carry a gun, but if things have to happen, it happens. If I had the courage, to be quite honest, I would stay out late, I would party with friends, I would enjoy with them, but I also know that I will not be safe. I'll be very vulnerable if I'm in that state, and to be quite honest, I won't put myself in that situation. And But to be quite in Delhi, even guys are not safe. I mean, nowadays, not even Delhi, I mean, not only talking about Delhi, but can you really say that even guys are safe? No. You know, even, I mean, kids, be it boys or girls, I mean, they get raped every now and then. I just think you have to be really responsible for yourself. There was a time when I used to carry a small knife around. I mean, you know, even if it's a Swiss knife, I mean, I keep it in my bag where I can reach it whenever I need it.
I have called 100 a couple of times, and surprisingly, last 2 or 3 times I've called, they have always called back, ensured I've gotten home. I've not had to have them come and save me, thankfully, so far.
But there are always people for whom it's going to be the first offense, and how are you supposed to figure those people out? And it could be anyone, it doesn't have to be your cab driver, it could be some guy in your college, it could be like someone in your workplace. And it all comes down to why it happens, and possibly about the kind of gender roles we're fed right from the beginning. And changing that is, I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but going to be difficult. I don't see it happening in my lifetime at least.
Well, I definitely don't think it's the clothes, because if you look at, you know, statistics, or even if you look generally, it is not about sexual gratification. Rape is about power and about oppression. So when a 3-year-old gets raped, when a 5-year-old gets raped, they're not being provocative in any sense. So for me, clothes is completely, absolutely redundant, how a woman is dressed. I personally feel more sort of freedom is taken away from you every time such an incident takes place. For example, even at work, you know, if colleagues show, you know, concern, but say that you should leave by 6, don't work after 6, which for me is taking away my freedom. Or not travel, it is taking away my freedom. So things do change, but unfortunately not for the better of women, and rapes still continue to happen.